Hello and welcome back to the Movie Pope podcast. And may I just say, if you're out there sweltering under the heat dome like we are here in the Carolinas, please stay safe and please stay cool. But while you're inside, trying to stay cool from this excruciating heat, let us entertain you with our thoughts on movies. And today we are doing a trailer reaction to the Toxic Avenger, a remake of the classic 1980s movie that was kind of weird, really, because I really didn't know if it was supposed to be a horror movie or an action movie, but I guess we'll find out. Now, Lee, with your vast repository of film knowledge, I have to ask, have you ever seen the Toxic Avenger, or has this ever crossed your mind throughout the years?
So, I've actually never seen the original one. I will absolutely admit that. I 100% know about the film. I have, friends that have talked about it, that, I think kind of thoroughly enjoyed the original one, made with that very tight shoestring budget that they had back in the day.
Yeah, that's what it was famous for, was,
yes.
It was being made on a really, really tight budget. Like,
yes.
Most people will know that fact, along with the fact that you've got a guy who looks like a green version of the Elephant Man holding a mop. Really?
Yes. It's it definitely has that kind of like reputation of being that kind of cult film. So its reputation precedes itself. So I would be very curious to see what they do with, I guess now, how you're going to kind of, capture what you do with it now in 2025.
Well, what kind of struck me was the fact that we got Peter Dinklage of Game of Thrones fame in this movie. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how exactly that's going to work out. Is he going to fall into the toxic sewage and then he like grows as a result, or what? But without further ado, let's take a look at this.
Armed political extremists have taken hostages downtown.
Miss me.
Wait! Stop! We'll get to all of that. Just relax, okay? We'd lost.
Oh, he didn't look like he got taller, right, Lucas?
I don't think so.
It's just me and the kid.
Looks great.
I'll just scrape off the black part. That part's pretty good.
No, give him back.
I don't want to hurt him.
Why didn't you do anything?
Sometimes it's better to do nothing.
If you mess up toast, don't you just
good.
like make more toast, right?
This
corporation
I never understood that whole thing. People try to like
would
redo it.
knowingly poison its own customers just to boost their own profit margins.
Summon the nuts.
Okay, summoning the nuts.
I didn't want any of this. I'm a monster.
You're not a monster.
Wait, was he
Show
nicknamed
him
Toxie
your
in the other one?
Hey, but
I think so,
I'm
yeah.
your dad.
Okay, well,
What the? I wasn't even involved. But sometimes you gotta do something.
okay, that feels like the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Just some dude with a mouth.
How does it feel to be a hero?
Do you realize what's at stake here?
Everything!
Find
Kevin
him,
Bacon.
bring him here.
And Elijah Wood.
Yeah, I know. I should mention him first because he looks very
That was just self-defense. You haven't killed anyone else, have you?
See, when you say self-defense,
He's an ugly son of a bitch, though.
That's all that matters to
The Toxic Avenger.
That's what the kids are calling him. I think it's swell.
Oh, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, I guess it does answer the question. He didn't grow. I mean, he stayed the same. unlike
That's true.
unlike Liam Neeson, who managed to shrink himself down to the size of a schoolgirl and then rip off the mask and then grow back to regular size. So you mentioned something earlier. Seems like the trailer, is exhibiting traits of what we're familiar with from its 1980s predecessor.
Yeah, all the I think I think so much of the, it's a black comedy, right? And I think seeing all the very gruesome ways that people are being killed is exactly how I kind of like envision them wanting to replicate, right, from the original one, is having kind of all these like over the top deaths and everything like that. Now, as I said, I've not seen the original one, so I'm not a very good barometer for what we're expecting getting to this. Does it hit the same level of like I think what you would expect from the film from the 80s, but I think it definitely captures some of that. But I don't know. It's always for me a little bit weird when they're trying to recreate movies like this, because the charm of it is obviously like how low budget everything feels. And when you like upscale things, like it looks like what they're doing for this one, I don't know if it's still going to capture that same level of magic. So I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, you have to kind of at least be somewhat interested in it, just knowing how absolutely bonkers the original one is. And they're definitely going for the very over the top, like bloody, gory violence. So it seems to like go in the direction you would want it to go into. I just don't know if it's going to work out.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, I mean, we're talking about filmmaking way back in the day. I mean, you needed access to tape decks and specialized cameras and all that stuff in order to make a movie, right? I remember when I was studying film many moons ago, we initially started off using 35 millimeter film, and we were using those old school cameras where you actually had to crank the film and then film it like that. That's how they would do it way back in the day if you wanted to make a good proper movie. Nowadays, I mean, you could literally make a movie for next to nothing, because people are filming movies on their phones or tablets, and they're getting pretty high definition quality. And plus, people have access to a lot of editing software that you just wouldn't have been able to access back in the day. So, I mean, maybe they're still operating with that same spirit, but they've got more tools available to them than what they would have had like 30 or 40 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with anything like this, right, where you're making a film nearly 40 years after the original one came out, there's going to be enhancements that you're ultimately going to make, just because, I mean, technology, as you said, is better now, right? So you're going to have some of that. I guess it all comes down, at least for myself, how much they utilize it, and do they utilize it well?
Well, I know you famously have said over the years that a lot of films kind of fall under the Michael Bay spell, shall we say, or the Michael Bay curse, where special effects become the bread and butter rather than storytelling. So so it's a very fine line to walk, because yes, it is available and yes, it is accessible, but do you really want to rely on it like 100%? Like, and Peter Dinklage is a very good actor. I mean, we've seen him in Game of Thrones and other projects, so we know he's more than capable of carrying any project he's fielding. We just want to make sure that that we get to see him, as well as appreciating the works of people who are working in post-production, trying to make this whole movie work, and let us believe that the Toxic Avenger has arisen again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is interesting too, like when you get a bigger name actor, right? Someone that has those acting chops, how do they work in a film like this, where I think you have the flexibility to go balls to the wall, because you're not supposed to take this character seriously.
No.
So what can a guy do when it's just like, okay, you have the freedom to do anything, act and see what you can make of this character.
Right.
So I think that does make it has a little bit of interesting flavor to what you can see from someone, the Toxic Avenger, right? What are you going to do with his character?
Well, the movie comes out at the end of August on the 29th, so plenty of time for you people out there. If you haven't seen the original, go ahead and check it out. I know I definitely will. But yeah, let us know down in the comments below. Are you expecting good things from the Toxic Avenger? Do you have toxic feelings about it? And as always, be sure to like and comment, subscribe. I mean, it definitely helps with the algorithm. We are growing our channel slowly, so the more of you who join in, the more better we feel at night. But other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.